Lark Davis, once again, is freaking out because Bitcoin is crashing. As FTX goes from bad to worse every single day, we're finding out more and more. And what's next? Who will be next? So Lark Davis, of course, is giving us the nitty-gritty on what's going on, and he is really losing it because it's freaking him out. Anyways, do we really need to be freaked out? Is everything happening to FTX really that bad? Let's get into
it. Bitcoin just keeps on crashing as the FTX news
crashing
from bad to worse. Massive hack over the weekend. All kinds of crazy going on. BlockFi.
Oh no!
Who the heck could be next to suffer from
Who's
FTX
next?
contagion? Well, I've got that in today's video for you. Also taking a quick look at the charts. Make sure to stick around for all of the goods. Let's get it. So as you've likely heard, if you haven't, then you can hear it now. FTX over the weekend got hacked. Hundreds of millions of dollars were drained out of FTX and FTX US. It must have been an inside job. The timing, the coincidence, it's just who at FTX did that. The apps all then started broadcasting out malware updates. If you have the FTX app on your phone and you haven't deleted it yet, make sure to delete that ASAP. Do not open it up. Just delete it and move on with yourself, because holy cow, what an absolute shit show for crypto. This is beyond bad for the industry. It's just, this is going to set us back a lot. I mean, the fallout from this.
Let's hold it right there
for a while.
So, absolute shit show, says that it's going to set back the industry a lot. What have we really set back, though, is my question. Because what everybody is talking about, how this is so terrible for the industry. Oh no, we are, now we're set back. We're back. We're being set back because of this terrible hack and this terrible mismanagement of funds and all this kind of stuff. What actually got set back, folks? It's the centralized exchanges. That's what got set back, because that's what failed here. You have given your keys to somebody else once again, and with that, they have not been able to handle your funds the same way the banks can't do it. They treated it like a fiat system, is what they did. And with that happening in crypto, that is the stuff that has gotten set back. Crypto, it's doing fine. It has done exactly what it's supposed to do. Not your keys, not your crypto. That's the way it goes. And for those people who have been going through crypto doing that, they're fine. But for everyone who has been going into the centralized exchanges and using them this way, because FTX is one, there's lots of others. I'm not saying that they're all the same, but the fact is that you're using a system in a way that isn't meant to be used. You're supposed to keep your keys. This is what crypto is designed for. Right? This is why we have Bitcoin. This is why we have all the other cryptocurrencies where you have your own private keys and you have custody, you have ownership, you have sovereignty over what you got. And as soon as you give them to a centralized exchange, it's over. You are now putting the counterparty risk in the hands of somebody else, and that never ends well. Well, most of the time, it doesn't end well. Okay? So what is actually being set back here in the industry? Centralized exchanges. And very good, because we don't need that. We should be heading towards decentralization. That's what's supposed to be going on. So for people freaking out about how this is so terrible for the industry, it's not, okay? We got a bit of a dip, but guess what? We know what everyone's talking about now? How to keep your keys. Yeah, guess what's happening now? Everyone's taking the crypto off the exchanges. Yeah, that's awesome. That doesn't sound like it's bad for the industry. That actually sounds like it's really good. It sounds like people are smartening up. And guess what? Who wouldn't want people to smart up? Who? You guessed it, the banks.
The banks.
The people who want centralized exchanges. Old finance wants you to think that this is bad, because then they are in trouble, because they want to be able to keep doing what they've been doing things like FTX has done. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they're set out to do and whatnot. They want to be able to have a system that they can have those same kind of controls, that same kind of manipulation that has been going on forever and not allowing you to be able to get ahead. Okay, I digress. Let's continue with the video.
Also, as Altcoin Daily pointed out here, they've got FTX apparently faked an order from Bahamian regulators so that they could withdraw crypto while everything else was actually paused. So we're seeing a lot of withdrawals happening a couple of days ago from FTX, and they're saying, well, Bahama said we have to make sure that people in Bahama can withdraw their funds, but then Bahama came out and said, that's not really the case. Sorry. So holy cow, more lying, more deceit, more fraud at FTX. I mean, it just, the rabbit hole just goes so damn deep. It's insanity. Also, FTX has listed 0 Bitcoin assets on their bankruptcy papers, despite having $1.4 billion in Bitcoin liabilities. This means
hold it right there. Holy smokes. FTX had no Bitcoin. All the Bitcoin that was being traded on FTX was in fact just made up tokens. What is that, right? They literally were just making up Bitcoin now. That is beyond bad, okay? But guess what? This is exactly what can happen on any centralized exchange. If I started a centralized exchange, let's stop for a moment. If I have a centralized exchange and I completely own the system and nobody else has access to it, I could just make up any kind of tokens I want. I can run any kind of order book I want, right? And now they're talking about, oh, we want to have regulators in place. Do you really think it's going to do anything? Do you? Because regulators have been around for all the other markets. That hasn't really made a difference, right? Oh, it'll protect us from what, right? From you being able to get ahead is what it'll protect you, right? It'll just make it so that less and less people will be able to access the system, and only the people that are ultra rich are going to be able to have any of the real gains. You're out if that's what you're cheering for, which is really weird to me when I hear people in the crypto space going on about how we need more regulation. The whole hope of that is that, oh, more money's going to pour in, my bags will go up. No, it's not. More money will come in, yes, but guess what? You're out. You're not part of the club. So bye-bye opportunity, hello richness for all the other people. Why would you want that? If you really think it's going to end with you still being able to play the game, you're wrong. The rules change, and guess what? You're out. So you really want regulation? I'm not saying I'm against regulation in the sense that what should be regulated can be regulated. But when it comes to crypto, when it comes to what we're doing in this space, it's self-regulated. It's designed so that everybody has a seat at the table and everybody has a part of the consensus, instead of a regulator deciding what the consensus is going to be for them and for the people that they represent who paid for their regulation, right? I don't know. You just got to be clear about these things. Like, what really matters? Like, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to be the end game when you get what you're cheering for? I don't get it. So regulators, apparently they're lying even about what the regulators claimed. Like, now they use it as a shield. So and these are people, by the FTX, by the way, they come from the elk, they're akin to the same people who want regulation. They're the same people who are cheering it on, right? Because in that kind of world, this kind of thing will just keep going, right? It's just, they would have been able to just sweep this under the rug with generating more tokens again, or generating more Bitcoin again, and then just keep it going. It was just a musical chairs, and then the music stopped, and here we are. And guess who's getting hurt? All of you, right? For using centralized exchanges. I'm sorry that everybody had to experience this once again. This happened with Mt. Gox. Some of you watching this now don't even know what that means. What is Mt. Gox? Mt. Gox was one of the first exchanges for Bitcoin way back in the day, because nobody had anywhere else to go, right? And the same thing happened, right? And that was a long time ago though. So now new people coming to crypto don't even know about that whole episode. People who experience it though, now that they're using crypto, they will keep their keys and they keep their crypto off of centralized exchanges. Just a little bit of trivia. What does Mt. Gox stand for? Magic of the Gathering. So, I mean, this is where people were putting their Bitcoins. Whew, but that was a long time ago. Anyways, yeah. So we're making up Bitcoin now. Centralized exchanges making up Bitcoin. If that doesn't give you pause, if that doesn't make you think, maybe I should think twice about leaving any of my crypto on these places, then I have no words. This is all very bad. And yes, I have to agree in terms of what Lark is saying. This just is bad, bad, and bad. I agree. Okay, let's go.
just incredible. Again, incredible levels of lying and deception here
Ooh.
from FTX, that they had all this Bitcoin liability, right? Customer Bitcoin. They owed their customers $1.4 billion of Bitcoin, but they didn't have it. It was all gone. It was all gone. Where's the Bitcoin at, man? Oh man, this is just, wow. That's unreal. Unreal. $1.4 billion in Bitcoin liabilities, and they got no Bitcoin at the bankruptcy. This is next level stuff right here. As Pepe the Goat here on Twitter points out, also we've got some incredible levels of just incestuousness, we can say, with the cryptocurrency industry. So Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, and all the related entities and what they've acquired or have exposure to, invested in. So we can see here, Alameda, for example, has investments right across the crypto space, from things
Look
like
at all those investments,
which is trading API assistant.
Can we just stop right there?
Blockchain, FTX.
Just having a thought. Look at all these organizations which took investment in order to operate within crypto. So back to my point when we started this video, when we're talking about how terrible this is for the industry, let me tell you something. If all these organizations which took investment and took a traditional approach to crypto the way they did, all those now that have that associate, most of them now are wrecked. They probably aren't going to get any further funding. They're probably going to dry up. But think about what this means in terms of the approach that they were taking, right? I understand that we have these systems where we have corporations and VCs and so forth. These are all part of the old financial system. And this is the lot that has now been trying to infiltrate, probably is a better term, crypto. They're trying to infiltrate this space. And by doing that, they will be able to influence and create a system that is no longer the likes of which would ensure more freedom and sovereignty for everybody, which is why a lot of people are here for, right? Being able to protect your wealth, be able to own it. These organizations would all have a counterparty risk. Most of them would. Sorry, most of them. I don't know what all of them are doing, but if they had an association with companies like this that were taking VC money and apparently printing it out of thin air, then they likely weren't doing anything that would be long-term good for the space. So I go back to my point. Is it really bad for the industry? Is it really taking it back? Because I don't think anything that would come for this. What's the saying? You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? And look at that tree. Look at that tree. That's very clearly a tree diagram of apples that are probably rotten also, probably. Again, I don't know what everyone is doing. Maybe, 1 out of 10 on average might have something interesting that could go on. But the truth is, this is not bad for the industry. This looks bad, I agree, but looks aren't everything. After all the dust has settled, I see this almost like, the infiltration that was taking place is now actually taken back. And we might actually see people going, okay, regroup. How do we go forward after this? And what's the right way to do this? Because we tried this way, and this is basically giving us the same results that we see in the old finance system, right? TradFi, we call it. So I'm hopeful that this has taught a huge lesson to the space, that TradFi anywhere within the crypto space with DeFi don't mix. Oil and water is a good way to put it. So let's focus on the water side of things and make it something that is worthwhile. So I just wanted to give that note, that seeing this diagram and seeing all the investments, and of course, they're probably all going to fail now. Again, back to my point, I don't think it's totally bad for the industry. I think we might have, it's going to help us to weed out the infiltration of TradFi into the space. And that, in my estimation, is a good thing. If you agree, let me know in the comments, or if you disagree, let me know. Because I can understand where you want to try to impress Wall Street and things like that, but those guys aren't here to make this a better place. No, they're there to if they're coming in, they're there to try to enrich themselves, not to make it an equal playing field. They're there to push you out so that they can move in. So we're only 3 minutes into this 10-minute video by Lark, and I can't go any further. I don't think that there's any more to say. I don't think that there's any more to look at. Frankly, I understand the sky is falling sentiments. This is terrible for the industry and what a shit show and all that kind of stuff. But truthfully, there's nothing. I don't think there's much more to say other than the fact that this is not really that bad for the industry. I think if you look at it from the crypto first perspective of for the people, by the people, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, and of course, rules without rulers, then this is a very good thing. It has taken out a huge chunk of the swamp, and now we're going to see more of it dry up. So I just think that's the way it goes. So I agreed with the sentiments in terms of like, it was bad and the things they did were very bad, but as far as the industry goes, it's going to turn better. So look at the silver lining of all this, see that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and what we see in terms of the price action and everything else with Bitcoin, it's only temporary. I assure you it's going to change real fast. So till the next one, have a great day.